Oh, okay.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi, how you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm good.
Long time no see.
I know. Well, I've seen you from a distance,
Yeah, right.
and right now, I don't want that on. And right now, it's a long distance because I'm in Cape Cod.
Ah. Well, thank you for Zooming with us.
Oh, sure. Okay, I'm going to try to take notes here.
Uh-oh. There goes my,
Oh, you're fluey again.
yeah. All right, I'm gonna leave and come back.
Okay.
Strange. So if I'm the host and I leave, does that cause a problem?
Yeah, you better get right back in. You have 2 minutes.
Okay. End meeting for all. I'm just gonna leave the meeting. Ooh, I can
Yeah,
assign
You don't
you
want
as
to end
the
it for
host.
all.
What?
Don't want to end it for all.
No, I'm assigning you as the host.
Okay.
I can leave.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back. Hopefully that'll be a happier thing.
And you better make yourself. Oh, now I'm all goofy. Wait, what happened?
No, I'm goofy.
I'm in your space though.
Huh. Well, I could always stop the video. Huh. Hmm. It's so weird.
Does this happen on other ones?
No, no. Okay. Now I'm back. Let's see. So I don't have a lot of things open on my computer. In fact, ooh, well, I can close one thing. See if that makes life any better. Hi, Paula.
Hey Trish, hey Nancy.
Hi. Trisha's been having some computer things and she's gone off and come back on, so hopefully it'll be all right.
Looking good now.
Okay.
I guess I could always close my video and just do the audio if I have to, but hopefully this will be okay. I did have to log in as Tony this time, which I don't think I had to log in before. But anyway. So we'll give Rebecca a little bit of time.
And Ellen?
Ellen said she couldn't make it. She's
Oh,
out of
okay. Okay. All right. I'll be back in 1 second.
Okay.
Oh, here she comes.
Hi, sorry about that.
Hey,
Glad
Rebecca.
you're here. Nancy just stepped away for a second. I'll be right back.
Oh, great.
I'm back.
All right, then we have a quorum, and Ellen had said she wouldn't be able to make it because she's out of town. So I'll call the meeting to order. Thank you all for being here. There are a few items on the agenda, as you saw. Maybe I'll also just say I've been having a few video problems, which now seem to be resolved, so hopefully they'll stay that way. But just a little heads up in case not. So approving prior minutes, CPC grant proposals, Bailey's Hill, getting ready for town meeting, and new business are a few of the items on the agenda. Nancy very nicely, kindly sent out the meetings for us. Are there comments?
Oh, I had no comments.
No,
Is there a motion to approve the minutes as written?
So moved.
Second,
second.
thank you. All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Yes. Terrific. CPC grant proposals. I guess, where do we stand? In a way, I don't know. Nancy, do you have an update for us? Anything what we should be considering, or at this point?
No, so our committee, CPC committee took all of the proposals, wrote them up for the warrant. And I think, as I told you last time, we were advised to increase it by 20%, just because that's the way things work in getting this work done. And so now we will not be meeting again until we decide who's going to present what for the which of them for the town meeting, or comment on them. So as they don't stand changed at all from the last time we spoke.
so can you just remind me what they are?
So there's a grant to continue, a grant proposal to continue the work at Bailey's Hill, based on the previous grant that was written by Ellen. And so that is basically going to be procurement and planting of native plants in that area, and assistance to the DPW for invasive removal in the that section of Bailey's Hill. The other one is for improvement of safety, and basically safety and signage at Lodge Park. And the signage will be wayfaring signs, like leading people up to, and then there'll be, I think, 4 historic cultural signs around the loop trail. The other portion of that involves redesigning some of the dangerous spots along the trail that have been created by either people going down them and creating erosion, or just because of where they're situated. And that improvement will be redesigning some of the trails so they're not fall line, but circuitous kind of, and then making green fencing using native plants. So that was all, both of those worked out with the DPW.
Oh, great.
And so we're all on the same page with that. And there was, we're just working together on it. So it seems to be, should be pretty good chances of not having controversy and getting approved.
Good.
Okay, anything else on that, CPC?
Not at this point.
Yeah, that sounds good. Thank you for the update and the review of that. So Bailey's Hill. No real recent movement on that.
So we don't have a plant list yet from those people? Remember, like they were supposed to, did the
Yeah,
town?
they're working on the plant list. We've gotten them going on it. We haven't received one from them, but we don't really need it.
Right,
We wouldn't be ordering until later.
right. So I'm sorry for the rest of you who may not understand what we're saying. We had some money left over from the last grant that Ellen wrote. And we may need to find a little bit more, but to have a plant list developed by the people that we worked with up there, so that that will then lead into the next section, which will be purchase and planting of those native plants in that area on Bailey's Hill.
Okay, and that's Parterre Ecological, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that work is going to wait until the fall, as it was advised by everyone that it's best to wait till the fall and not plant it in the spring and then have all the watering and all that kind of stuff. But the time intervening time will be used to continue work on cutting on the invasive species. That will just be an ongoing project. I haven't been up there lately to see, but there will be more work to be done.
So I'll circle back with Parterre Ecological and ask them where things stand and when we can expect to see a plant list.
Okay.
I imagine they'll be getting busier and busier in the summer. Excuse me. So I think they'd like to wrap this up, and we'd like them to wrap it up before their really busy season.
Yep.
So I'll circle back with them on that and ask about the timing of it. Does that sound good?
Yeah, great.
Okay, moving on. Could be update on the town-owned land committee. Anything further on that at this point? No, it's in their hands and yeah.
No.
Okay, good. All right, town meeting update. So I guess I'd be curious, what is our role at the town meeting? What happens with the CPC grant proposals that we submitted? Is it could someone just walk through what that process is?
I thought there was no public comment on CPC stuff. Isn't it
No,
all voted
there-
on at once?
It is, but each one is presented and people can get up and talk about it.
Oh, okay, all right.
But it's not anybody of you can say something and can say something in support, but basically once you bring it to the CPC, it's their job to then, after, I actually don't know what happened. So first it goes to the FinCom, and I haven't heard like what they've said, but I assume everything is okay. But then they turn it back to us to present and defend, even though we're not the writers of it, we're the supporters of it.
And usually, aren't they presented as a block, sort of, rather than
Yeah.
as each individual grant proposal? So there's not usually discussion.
Well,
on each
there
of the
can be.
Okay, So it's open for possible discussion, but
Right.
yeah,
And
someone
you
from the
guys
floor.
aren't obliged to do anything. That's the
Yeah.
CPC's job to,
Okay. All right, that sounds good. So then assuming that the article is passed at town meeting, yay. Then what's the next step after that? How does the implementation work? Is that up to the town administrator to take action on it and put out an RFP and that kind of thing? Do we?
so depending on the amounts, we may have to open it up for multiple bidders,
Right.
according to the town rules.
Correct.
And we can, start that right away. I just think the procedure will be discussions with Zach about how things are going to proceed.
And I
um,
presume we need the parterre planting list too.
Yeah. That will have to be obtained at a certain point because it would be good to submit the list before the fall so we make sure we get the products we want.
Yep.
And hopefully it won't be as bad as the previous years with the COVID material, but you're right, we should get that list as soon as possible so Trish can work on that.
Yeah. So then we would, let's see, is it up to us to sort of try to nudge Tony and Zach in terms of getting these projects moving forward? So we can try to request meetings with them? I
Well,
mean, I know everybody's very busy and there are a lot of different proposals. Ours aren't the only ones and so on. So I guess like, how do we keep on moving this forward?
well, it's just a discussion that we sit down with them and say, how should we strategize this? Certainly the signage can go forward without them, although they will be installing the signs. So I just think that we hold a general meeting afterwards and make a strategy for how we're going to work with timing and how it fits into their schedule.
Yeah, so probably with both Tony and Zach.
I
Well,
start
right.
with Zach.
Start with Zach, but Tony would have to put out RFPs for some of these items because for the competitive bidding process, right? But maybe we get that going through Zach initially. This is why I'm asking.
Yeah, I think we discuss it with Zach because he's the one who knows how his schedule is going to work.
Okay.
Yeah, and on the signage, I think we have to have a understanding of how Tony wants to have, uniform signage going forward. And now that came out of the Audubon person who came and presented the sort of the maintenance plan for the Lodge Park.
Right. So we, the company that gave us the bid is uses the National Park Service standards, which is also what's in place in front of the life-saving station.
Okay.
That was kind of going to be our guide,
Mhm.
but we have to discuss it all afterwards and we all have to be on the same page. You're right.
Yep. Yeah, because we should use the same signs up there that we're going to use everywhere, really.
Right. And
Right. Yeah, and Lodge Park can become kind of the test or the model for that, of agreeing on what that will be and then be the first test site.
Yep.
Take it from there.
And we also will eventually have signage at Bailey's Hill too. So, but we're not at that stage yet.
Right.
Just an FYI, I noticed I walked up to the top of Bailey's Hill, sorry, the south mound of Bailey's Hill, and noticed that the DPW has done extensive trimming away
good.
of the underbrush, which includes, the plants that we don't want there and stuff. So it is, I mean, it's
Hmm.
hugely changed if you walk up there. I don't know if any of you have.
I haven't
No,
been
I
up-
walked up above the bunkers and where.
Oh, I'm talking
plants
about,
go.
I'm talking about the south side.
Yeah, and so I haven't gone over there
Okay.
yet.
But, what was I gonna say? You had raised the issue last time, Paula, about controlled burn and stuff.
Yep.
And I, did not follow up on that. But we want to talk to Zach about, his plan for that south side, although it's a town grant, not ours, but as the Open Space Committee, we're interested in it, and I think we could talk to, I just haven't had a chance to talk to him and also to talk to the fire department about their feelings about it.
Well, it'll be interesting to go over there because I haven't seen it yet, so it'll be interesting to see what they've done so far.
Yeah, I haven't
Rebecca, have
known,
you been up there?
I have, and I guess it looks cleaned up, but I did not notice all of the removal that they did. I'll go up there tomorrow, though.
it looks remarkably different. So much of, there's that little island in the center that you kind of, well, that is totally cleared away of anything except for the larger the trees.
Yeah. You know what, I was just up there the other day and I was just thinking, I think I was just distracted by like the spring leaves budding. I didn't really notice yeah,
Well,
I'll go up tomorrow though.
yeah. I mean, it's totally appropriate, but I don't think that they have worked in the area that was of your concern,
Right.
Paula,
That's what I was talking about is down below.
Right,
So-
right. And this work is only kind of at that flat area at the
Yeah.
top. Actually, the flat area, but going off into the water all the way straight back and going down to the left. I mean, it's like a big change.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good, gotta
I
go
think
up there.
too, it seems like maybe when they were doing some of the trimming for the power lines, they did a lot of work like down Tri Mountain Road,
Uh-huh.
and that's pretty noticeable too.
Okay, I haven't looked on that side.
And I think that that little cut through path that he was working on, I think
Yes.
that's completed too. I
Oh,
noticed that the other
awesome.
day. Yeah, it looks pretty clear through there.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. I guess moving on then to the next item, new business.
Wait, can we go back to town meeting? Because there is
Yeah.
something we're gonna have to speak about, and I can take it if you want, which is the bylaw.
Oh, yes.
So I haven't seen the warrant
Ah,
yet, so I don't know
right.
the exact language, but I'm gonna hopefully maybe try to get it tomorrow if I can. I'll be working from home tomorrow and I might go up there and just see what I can find out. But that will be something that
Right.
we should probably, somebody needs to talk about it at town meeting, so I'm willing to do that if you want.
That
would-
sounds fabulous.
that would
All in
seem to make-
favor, say
Right.
aye.
That would seem to make sense since you did all the work to do it and understand the legality of doing it. So I don't think anyone's like jumping up and down to take, not have you do it.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Do you expect any problems?
no,
Paul?
no.
Okay,
I was gonna reach out to FinCom, but in my experience, no news is good news, so, so I decided not to try to insert myself into that.
because it doesn't have a lot of financial ramifications, does it?
Oh, it doesn't, but they're an advisory committee too. It's
Okay.
not just finance, so they can advise on things they don't like, so. Like, it'll be interesting to see. I don't know what they're gonna do about the short-term rental bylaw. I don't know if they'll take a position or not, so.
Yeah, there's certainly been a lot of work on it, but I don't know where it stands related, to any presentation at town meeting.
So,
Well, so assuming that it gets approved, then can we immediately like try to recruit more members?
Yeah, but it has to be approved by the Attorney General's office.
Okay,
So what happens after is town meeting approves it, and then Diane, as Dunphy as town clerk, will have to send all the bylaws, whether they're zoning or general bylaws, to the Attorney General's office, and the Attorney General's office has to review them. But
Okay.
while that's happening, I think we can start recruiting people.
Yeah.
and do you know how long that process takes with the AG?
Could be a couple months.
Okay. So we can't really, we can invite them and,
Yeah,
and ask them to be, you know, observers or join our meeting, but they can't be voting members until we get that approval. Is that correct?
correct.
Okay.
Does anyone at this point have some people in mind of who might be good candidates to join the committee when the time comes?
I
No.
haven't been around much, so I don't have anybody right now.
Yeah, all right, so we can all
Yeah, I
start
think
thinking
that-
about that.
Something we should all be doing, like brainstorming, thinking,
Yeah.
what are the things we want to work on and who would be helpful to work on those things.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah.
Knowing that now we can have a larger group of people working on something and still be legal,
Mhm.
right? We can have 3 people instead of 2 people.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay, anything else with town meeting?
Nope.
Okay. New business, I wanted to mention, I think at our last meeting, Ellen had mentioned about the, that we could be thinking about applying for grants from the state and elsewhere, in particular mentioned the park program, parkland acquisition and renovations, I think is what it is. And they do, I went to the DCR website, Division of Conservation and Recreation website, and they do have some workshops coming up that people who want to submit grant proposals for that project are asked to attend either the in-person workshop on May 4th in Westboro or a virtual workshop on May 9th. So I just thought I would mention that. I personally don't feel that optimistic that if we were somehow to submit a grant proposal to that it would fare that well, because they have a whole review system of how they grade and rank proposals and award points. And one of the big things is environmental justice communities and really looking to increase access to green spaces for environmental justice communities. And I don't think we would score very well in that category. So, but anyone else is welcome, of course, to go and look into it and see what you think.
I think
Okay.
it's worthwhile to try to go to that, I mean, attend one of those sessions just to see what they say or what they talk about or whatever. I mean, we need to jump in this game a little more to look for more grants besides CPC. So I'll look at my schedule and think about going to the virtual one if I can.
Yeah, I'll take a look at the DCR website. I happen to have a client who I think is getting some money from the state for Park and Roxbury. So maybe I'll talk to the consultant that I know they're working with.
That would be great.
Okay.
You know, the people, I mean, there have been in the past workshops about how you get, you know, how you get money from different things to do this. And we just need to be more cognizant of it and figure out how to learn where are these grants and what do we want to accomplish, and, all that kind of stuff. So I think,
I know the town got a $90,000 grant for 40 steps. I don't know where that stands.
So recently, Paula, for
I think
work
so.
too?
I think I saw it on the town website and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. Because we haven't really, I heard it much about it.
Mhm.
And I think it's really to come up with a resiliency plan for 40 steps. Meaning the stairs, the embankment, probably the roadway. So
well, that
it
could be
means
one.
like, the good thing is all these planning grants will start to give the town a better framework for knowing what they need a lot of money for. So, and whether it's open space or resiliency in open space is something, I don't know if there's anything in the warrant this year for the, near the sewage pump station. I know they were talking about doing something down there, but I don't know, and that's where the Heritage Trail is, so I don't know what they're doing there.
It would be good, as you're sort of saying this, to coordinate things with Tony and see, like, what is his big plan? Like, as we talked about last time, I was floored to find out that the town had already done a big plan looking at water drainage, on the golf course. That had already been like funded, done, and like what it came up as like, oh, by the way, like that should be something we know about. So I think it's good to keep a channel of communication and try to work together about stuff.
Yep,
So those are, I think, goals for after town meeting.
yep.
Other items.
Well, I have something, and Trish, I did warn you about this, so, and it's about the notice to prevent acquisition of easement for the ramp at Tudor Beach.
Yes.
And I think you have to recuse yourself.
Recuse myself from participating in the discussion, or,
Yep,
yes, that's what I was planning on doing.
okay.
Mhm.
So what does that mean exactly?
Oh, so you know what? I don't think you can't shut off though. Because I think if you shut off, we shut off.
Okay, I thought I was recusing myself from participating in the discussion, so I can sit here and listen, but not need to leave the meeting at this time.
You have to leave.
Okay, well, all right.
I think that's the way it works under the 268A.
And what's 268A?
So I don't know.
I mean, happy to defer to you on this. I've recused myself at other meetings and other groups and have still been there, but wasn't involved in the discussion and certainly didn't vote. Not trying to argue with you, but whatever. But also two more things. Because I was having trouble with my video. Actually, I made Nancy the host, and then I left and came back into the meeting. So I can leave the meeting, I think, I'm pretty sure, and you all should still be able to meet. So I don't think that will be an issue.
All right, okay, all right.
But
okay.
if you think I should leave the meeting, I'm perfectly happy to do that. But can we first talk about our next meeting and when we want to schedule another meeting?
Yep, that makes
'Cause
sense.
that would be the last item that I'm aware of on the agenda. Okay, so I guess after town meeting, would we want to meet? Would that be a time? If we don't need to meet, let's not meet, but if we need to meet, then let's meet, right? So after town meeting, would it be helpful to meet and make more of a plan for what our next steps are and the strategies and that kind of thing. In which case I was thinking possibly Tuesday, May 23rd or Tuesday, June 6th.
Let me look at my,
I just got to get my book. I'll be right back.
Okay,
I can do either of those dates.
and what's the other one, June 6th?
June 6th or the May 23rd.
Either one of those work for me right now. Oh, I can't do the 23rd.
Okay,
So June 6th is fine.
okay.
So I am really sorry. I can't do June 6th because I'm not sure I can. I'm coming back from New Hampshire at 6:30, but I can't make sure that I can't make it on time. So
Yep.
I don't want to. I mean, I could. So May 30th is not an issue on the. That's also a Tuesday. Is that an option? Is that
So
the
day
that's
after
the holiday weekend?
Memorial Day. I guess the May 30th would be a possibility.
That's
How's that
better for
look?
me than I can't do that. I have another hearing the 23rd for a client, so.
Right, but I'm suggesting a totally different date, the 30th.
That's fine.
Does that work for you, Rebecca?
Yep, that works.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
sounds good. We'll do that. Okay. So I guess I'll leave the meeting.
So can you just double check that I am a host?
It says it right on the top of my screen. Nancy Cantelmo is currently host.
Okay,
Okay, so I'm going to try to leave. Good luck.
All right, great. Thanks,
Okay.
Tricia.
Yep,
Thanks,
thank
Trish.
you. Okay. Here goes.
Right. So if I wanted to bring this up for the committee to decide if we think we should do anything, but the Aldriches posted the ramp at the end of Tour Beach with a notice to prevent acquisition easement, which means legally that they're trying to cut off public rights to that ramp. And I think the town has rights in that ramp that they've acquired over the years. The selectmen, I don't know, Nancy, if you were at the selectmen's meeting, Rebecca, there was
Yeah, I was there.
the selectmen had a meeting and the selectmen voted to basically bring a land court action against the Aldriches to make a claim for a prescriptive easement on the ramp. And as you may recall, I remember there was the same notice that was up on a sign near Castle Rock.
yes.
So I think, I don't know if we should recommend or sort of support the selectmen in this. At the selectmen's meeting, it came out that the town built the ramp in the 1970s, and there was a town meeting vote to do that. So I did have a conversation with Trish to tell her that I was going to be doing this tonight. And I was going to be bringing it up as a topic for discussion. And she said that they're worried about liability issues. But I think that, I mean, Nancy, you live right there. Everybody uses that ramp, especially people from kind of your neighborhood that go down to the beach.
Right.
Whether they're elderly people or mothers with strollers or people walking their dogs when they're not supposed to be on the beach, or when they can be on the beach. That's me.
Right.
So I don't know if we want to go on record as the Open Space Committee and support the selectmen in this, or what you guys think we should, if we should do anything.
So can I just ask, I understood that the Aldriches, this was months and months and months ago, so I don't know what an update is, but that the town has the right to use the ramp to bring their machinery down there to clean the beach up in the summer. I mean, what if, just even if the Aldriches keep everyone else off, the town has to have a way to get down to that beach, I thought, was with an agreement.
Well, if they do an agreement, sorry. If they do an agreement, maybe, but they don't, I think they had an agreement just for last year when this first came out.
Okay.
So, and I think that in order to really protect the town's rights, the town has to go to court unless the Aldriches say, okay, we'll give you an easement or something. But I think the town, we can't kick this can down the road anymore. Because once you see something like this, it's really important to, I think, to assert the town's rights. I've always said, I think the town has lost rights over the years in various places because people have done this. And the town never really contested it. And so I think the town really has to contest this. And maybe a settlement will be an easement agreement that would allow the town to, and the public to still use it. The town for their equipment and the public to just walk along there. So, but I just thought we should talk about it and decide if we want to do anything. I mean, the selectmen already voted. I don't know if it makes any difference, but I think it's important to go on record to, as a committee, to say, you know, we think the town should be protecting the town's rights.
Did the
in this area.
Aldriches speak at the meeting? Was there any?
No, I didn't have to.
Okay,
It was
And
good
did-
because they didn't, and I knew, you know, I was there kind of as a citizen, not as the Open Space Committee, because we hadn't met. So I couldn't really say anything about our committee. I did want to say it's a little awkward when the chair of the committee is doing this, but I didn't even say that because the town, because they were pretty clear that they thought, and the town attorney agreed, that really the only thing you can do is to try to assert the town's rights.
I think a good thing too that they brought up at that meeting was that if the property goes to another owner, you're gonna have the whole problem again. And just from a safety standpoint, like if anything were to ever happen on the beach, like emergency vehicles should always be able to access that no matter who the owner is. Like if something were to go wrong, you know,
Yep,
it just doesn't seem right.
yep. In case I have keel over from a heart attack or something on the beach.
You never know what's gonna happen at the beach.
right. But one of the issues that
Sailing program kids wash up, you know what I mean?
Yep.
the other thing that the Aldriches bring up is that it's an unsafe surface, especially in this winter, and that they're worried about their liability. So,
So if the town does if the town asserts this and wins, if it has to go to trial, then the town would have that liability. Because they're the holder of the easement, and they'd be as the holder of the easement, you're supposed to be the one that maintains it. Unless the parties agree to something differently, and the Aldriches would never, I mean, I wouldn't, if I was them, agree to do anything. I mean, I really should be the town's responsibility.
and do you know, has it been determined who owns that land?
No,
Okay,
I don't think so. I mean, the Aldriches think they own it. And they may, the problem is in Nahant, and I took a look at the deed references, and it's just not clear. You know, it's not clear where there's measurements, but I think the town really needs to get a real survey of it and assert rights on all the areas that the town has used and make sure it's big enough to get all the equipment down there without any interference. So, and I think the town will have to, probably have to, put up at least, there used to be a railing that kind of, went away,
Right.
do a railing and things like that.
So right now, we're deciding whether we should support the selectmen in this public right of way,
Right,
which is part of our approach to all the other places that we bring up in town,
right,
that we're upset that people have impinged on this right of way.
correct,
So it's not something different from what we usually do.
right.
What do you think, Rebecca?
I think, if the open space committee is, dedicated to creating spaces that are accessible, that it's important to support the selectmen in it. And I don't know, I don't know what our, support would look like, but I feel strongly that it is, should be maintained by the town, and that I see where they're coming from, a safety standpoint. But I guess it's my understanding that if it does go, on the record, both parties are protected, right? The Aldriches would be protected by stating that it is town-owned land, or that they have an easement.
Yeah.
So in a sense, we're saying that we support the town having an easement to get to public property, number one, and number two, we're alleviating the problem of the Aldriches worried about people hurting themselves on the ramp by the town taking over that responsibility.
That's how I am looking at it.
I mean,
And
I think the two of those things together make it reasonable.
So maybe we don't need to take a vote or do anything. If I could, maybe I'll reach out to Tony and see if there's anything that they would want from us. On the record, so we can, just ask them, if it would help in any way. So maybe I should do that now that we've had this discussion, and then report back.
Okay, so
And-
Trish knows that she can't say anything or have any opinion on our committee about it. and
Correct,
It's the way we would leave it.
correct.
And what do I say in the minutes?
You,
We had an executive.
you
discussion?
have to reflect that, that she recused herself and left the meeting.
Okay,
And then you can just report on what we just talked about. And I'll reach out to Tony and see if a letter or some statement from us would be helpful.
do you think one of us should say something to her about what we think, or that we're going to be, we support the town on this. Do you think we should tell her that?
I mean, if you want, you can. We haven't voted on anything yet, though, so, I think the minutes can reflect the discussion.
Okay. Okay, so we'll just mention that we discussed the issue and that you would follow up with town administrator.
Yep,
Okay,
great.
and I know, Ellen's not here, but I know she feels that way.
Yeah, I haven't seen Ellen, so I don't know. I haven't talked to her about it, so.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. And then we'll probably have to do this again if the town does want something, so.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
always call a
Right.
meeting and hopefully hopefully that Ellen can be part of it.
Yep.
Although I don't know whether she feels she can be part of it because of her situation.
Yeah, it gets a little tangled.
Tangled web
Luckily,
of
the three
life.
of us don't have anything.
Right. I just,
My
you
law
know,
firm's not doing the work, so.
right. I just am, a sort of a close neighbor of theirs, and it's a little more in my face because I see them all the time. But
Yeah, it was a little awkward but I wanted to tell her and I saw her and because I didn't want to do this just
right,
blindside her, so
right.
Yeah,
it was a bit awkward. But
Yeah.
it's an awkward situation when you have the chair of the open space committee that's,
Right.
doing this, so.
yeah.
Right. No, right.
I mean, they
So,
posted it in public. They brought it up, right?
yeah, exactly.
So you had
And
to
it-
bring it up too.
He posted in public, so, and
Yeah.
it's,
At least you told her privately, right?
yeah, exactly.
No, I
So-
think that was a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing that up.
So. All right, so I think we can adjourn.
Okay, great. Thanks,
So-
everyone, and see you at,
Should we do a motion to adjourn? I moved, we adjourn.
okay,
I'll second.
okay, great.
All right.
All in favor, yes.
All
Okay,
right, thanks, everybody.
good night,
Good to see you
everyone. Thank
all.
You too.
All right, bye.